Hello, hello. I'm live now. I was trying to use this streaming service before to record something earlier, and I didn't even record it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Anyway, welcome. Anybody that's probably not even on here looking at me right now. The title is "The Algorithm Hates Me." Self-published authors in a world of AI. I was just talking to myself earlier because I didn't press the go live stream, um, about the fact that well, the AI has been pushing me out of a lot of things lately. Mainly, I think it has started to affect my sales of my books because the more I try to advertise it, the less I'm getting interest for it. Which is weird to me because I've never had a problem. This is the longest I've ever gone without having a sale of a book. So something's happened. Um, Definitely something's happened. The more I try to advertise, the less I see of it online. A lot of my stuff gets pushed away really quickly. Um, I don't know if it's because I'm not getting enough likes or generating enough viewers, especially on my YouTubes. I don't get enough viewers, but you know, uh, that's YouTube. I mean, I'm not professional. I'm not doing constant streaming. I'm not doing probably not enough on YouTube to push. But again, I'm like, um, I'm advertising as much as I can. I'm not probably not because I'm not consistent on it. I'm not timing it. I know a lot of people use these new sites now that create it and then it pushes it out for them later on like a robot, and I think that's there you are again, like the AI is starting to affect self-publishing, uh, especially for authors that cannot um, do things for themselves. A lot of self-publishers are just people that have want to push out a book and have people read it, and it's just not enough there to get noticed. I don't know, it's kind of weird, especially mine. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not using this to rant about how I'm not getting seen or my books are. My books get seen, and that's just it's just that they don't. When I'm using the social medias, I've noticed that all my postings get pushed down quite a fair bit, uh, either because I don't have enough eyes on my account or enough likes, or there's just not enough. I'm just not cranking out enough on these things like X and what's the other one? Threads. Threads really pushes me out of the way, I find. Mainly because it's just filled with authors asking for information or just AI talk. Like here I am talking about AI talk here again. But on Threads, it's so much more. And there's just so much animosity to anybody that either sides with it or tries to see the good and bad in it. So, I mean, my stance is clear. I'm not for it, but I understand that it's here and we can't really stop it. So, there should be a like we really do need to contact these companies and voice our opinions. I think Drafted Digital had a survey to ask if it would be all right if the AI companies came and I guess offered some compensation for your work. It was nice of them to give that survey, but also scary for a lot of authors who found out that they were coming to talk to them about it. What interested me was that a good portion of the authors surveyed said yes. Uh, Not enough, mind you, to tip the balance of that scale, but there was enough on there. And I understand that. I mean, it's a good thing to get compensated for it, but um, man, I don't know. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. Not for all the money. I mean, there wouldn't be enough money. That'd be like, oh, making a home video, and the company said, I'll just pay you for that video. Here's $100, and then that your video became like the biggest thing ever, making millions upon millions, and you got only $100 for that. That would be um, a really, really good example of that. And as a self publisher, it's hard for me to push out all this stuff day after day. I can't be on here 24/7 to push out advertisings. But like I said, there's programs that are um, doing it for the artists, or for the, the authors that find these sites to help regulate it and push it out. Great. A lot of us don't know about that stuff, or we have no knowledge of how to use that. I'm one of them. It's funny that I used to be all about tech back in my day, and now I know absolutely nothing. That's how it just shows you my age as I'm getting older. Um, but like I said, I'm here just pushing my own books, trying to get my books noticed, like The Jungle Planet, a sci-fi thriller. Like here I am plugging the book again, which is you can buy it in the book format. Um, I have Outer Red. This was my like collective first story here. Um, and yeah, and the book that's in the new science fiction self-published competition is about AIs and about robots. So if anything, this book really did hold true, because whatever I've said in this book actually is starting to take shape. Which I wrote it like, oh gosh, like 3 years or 4 years ago, and now look where we are. So AI has really impacted a lot of things. It's really started to affect authors, artists, creatives in general. Movies are now being done by AI. Uh, Companies are moving in on studios and saying, "Hey, we'll do it for half the cost," and getting rid of all their technical people, which again is scary. But then the technical people have to still be there to correct some of the flaws. But I've seen some videos coming out of late of these guys doing reports on the newest and latest technologies coming out, and I must say that they're starting to get really, really good. They're starting to like. They showed one of a guy walking in like water, and then they just changed the background, and then he was on the moon, walking through sand, and then they changed the background again, and it was him just walking on some distant world. Or they changed the setting to a western, and it was just like within a blink of an eye. I thought, oh, holy jeez, this is not good. Like, might be good for independent filmmakers, but even then, I think that's a dangerous setting, because the indie filmmaker will now become the target of a lot of hatred, um, just as much as any, like an author that wrote all the book on Chat GPT. They get lambasted for that, and it's rightly they should, because they asked the computer to write them a book with with telling them nothing more than just a few lines. And that's not really writing, as much as like creating art and just prompting out the art. And now I think technically it's getting to that point where this generation will become prompt artists. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm calling it right here, prompt artists. Um, because all they'll have to do is put in almost a paragraph of what they want to see in the artwork, and boom, it'll be there. And then that'll be the new wave of art student is, how did I prompt that? How did I get it to do what I wanted to do? I honestly think that's how it's going to go. Um, and as for these people writing books, you're not even using your imagination. You're using the imagination of other people, just like the guy doing the art on the prompt. Um, I mean, it was great at the beginning for self-published authors who wanted just a quick cover. And I always said, like, if you wanted to create an AI book cover, but then that was for your initial cover, but then before you publish it, get a proper book cover artist to redesign it before you give it the full effect. It'd be great if it was just for as you're doing the novel, say on like Royal Road or Wattpad, you could just use it as something as a template of what the book would be like, and then later on replace it with something better. As a graphic artist, I used to take pictures and just like um, manipulate them and reposition them, and that's all any graphic designer really does is they take pictures that are free, or if they've paid for them, usually the time they've paid for them, and use them for multiple projects and just re assembled them in Photoshop or whatever works. And that's how graphic design works. It's a collage, really. It's just a collage, and you can become a collage artist. And then there's also the typography, which now you can do on computer, as much as you can do anything else with manipulating something on computer. So there again is the problem. You're on computer, you're doing something, you're manipulating it, but it's you doing it, not the computer. The computer will obey your commands to it, but it won't make it for you. You're the one making it. It's just setting it in place, keeping it um, the way you specify. Again, that argument would be that the prompter is trying to specify to the computer. Not so much, because I said you could always just type a few words and the computer would pop up some really random image and the guy will just take it anyway. That didn't take much effort. I think we're getting to that point where we're moving forward in artificial intelligence and not enough in our own intelligence. Because what is it learning? Looking at the way we do things, like how would it know what's right, what's wrong? A lot of the time, people are doing wrong things with right, with the right motive, but it gets that you get into that blur, and that's humanity. We're stuck in this moral compass of I don't know what to call it. It's just unbelievable. So, what's your problem, bro? What's your point here, Jeff? Not much. I just came on here probably to vent more than anything, just to say that it is getting harder for self publishers to get noticed online more. So I just wanted to like put my 2 cents out there about what's going on with the publishing world, and it's becoming quite ambiguous, um, because the more AI keeps cropping into programs like Canva and other programs like Adobe, it's getting harder for the author to do their own thing, do their own self publishing. Maybe that's the reason that they want that to happen, is to stop the self publishing altogether, so that you have to pay an industry trade to take over, and then you're pumping out more money that you can't afford. So then we'll have to go back to the basics again, printing, you know, just printing out crap copies and handing them out. It may come to that if this corporation kick keeps happening for all this stuff. I honestly think that this is going to be bad for them, because I think it will get to a point where you won't know what's real and what's not. The blur is going to happen. It's already starting to happen with Donald Trump putting out these pictures of ridiculousness, like he's posing with all these black people, and it's like, yeah, that didn't happen because he wasn't anywhere near that. And then you get like false pictures of somebody being on the moon, or it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So what I would say is just contact the companies, demand that they have a strict code, uh, tell the governments to stop uh, them from violating copyright laws, which were put there for a reason, to stop this sort of thing. And yeah, and we're just gonna have to keep cranking out stuff. As for me, I know the algorithms just like totally not happy with me. I hate it. It hates me. Um, but I'm just gonna have to keep doing what I'm doing. Like, what other way can I do it? I know there's other book creators out there just making hand over fist of money because they found their niche in certain areas and they've found a way to trick the algorithm into pushing their content out more, maybe controversial, maybe not. um, but for me, I can't keep up. I just can't. I'll do what I can, I'll push how I can, and that's all I can do. As a self-published person with no money at their disposal, this is all I can do. So for any other self-publisher going through the same problem, I understand. But we just have to keep on writing. We just have to keep pushing that book out. Don't get discouraged. Don't get low about it. Just keep working on it. They may not make money. That's why I say don't quit your job. Um, just maintain and try to keep on it. It's a hobby. What are you going to do at this point until it doesn't become a hobby? Until you do make those sales? Until you do get enough interest? So I think I'll just leave it at that for now. I had this on live. I was hoping people would be on here, but no. I mean, you got to advertise that too. So, what are we going to do? I'll try again next time. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. Here's another video for my algorithm to push away. All right. I'll talk to you later. Take care.